What is up, everybody? I hope you're all good. We are here at what round are we now? Round 3? Nice. Round 3 of the Driftmasters Championship in Finland. Probably one of my favorite events of the year, if not close to being the favorite. The atmosphere here is always insane, how good it is. The fans are crazy. And yeah, it's quite a cool track. It kind of, well, for me, it suits, I think, my style, technical, a lot of thinking going on. You got to be quite smart going around here. So overall, the feeling for me is quite good. I hope the car is also good, but the team is also here. Fionn, you tired?
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah, always. I'm excited. I haven't drove this track yet, so obviously that first wall is a little bit daunting, but I'm sure we can take it handy in the first lap or two and get the line dialed for qualifying today. So yeah, that's just the main goal. That's all I'm thinking about right now, is getting the line dialed for qualifying, and we can worry about chasing tomorrow morning.
So yeah, as I said, we're here, ready to go. Team is good. You know, track, yeah, for sure is a little bit challenging, especially in a GT86 when you have your wheel in the wall the whole ways around the first corner. So for sure you got to be a little bit cautious. It's also the same plan for me, getting the show tonight or today. Start focusing now on trying to get as maximum out of we can out of qualifying, and then worry about being fast tomorrow. So excited, and I'm sure you'll catch up to Jack. He's in the session after us, and yeah, let's go.
So we've first sessions of practice done. There's a bit of a lunch break now. As you can see, the gearbox is out on the bench out of Connor's car. He was struggling with like selecting the gear, but like it's weird because it was actually nothing to do with the gearbox. We just pulled it apart just for safekeeping. I've checked all the dogs, checked all the gears. Everything is as new basically. There is one little bearing on the selector mechanism outside the gearbox that was a little bit seized, so they like greased it up because we don't actually have a bearing. So we've just like freeing everything out, make sure it's all as it should be, and then we get it back in the car, and hopefully it's fine. Other than that, he was not 100% happy with the car, but everything's as it should be. I think he might be just a little bit confused between the 36 and the GT86 with being back to back again basically. But yeah, for myself, good practice session. We got 6 laps in. Car feels good. It was just a matter of fuel and tyres, so if we can keep that going for the rest of the weekend, I'll be very happy with that. But yeah, the boys will get the cars back together. They're doing wheels, tyres, all of that good stuff. And yeah, time for some lunch and get back on track after lunch.
John Shannon, who has yet to put a score on the board, had some issue on the first run. What went wrong?
Yes, absolutely. I managed to grab Jack here as we came down to the paddock. Now, Jack, we saw a lot of oil coming from your car, and as we all know, oil can be quite fatal, but I think right now it's looking positive. It wasn't anything to do with a crack anywhere. It was simply an oil line. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so it actually leaked from the minute I started the car and drove out. So like there's oil from here all the way to the like queuing up area. It turns out one of the oil lines from the oil filter relocator to the oil cooler had like rubbed through somewhere, so just something the boys missed on with the spanner check just before qualifying, which is quite upsetting. But yeah, I think it's fixed now. This is my first time outside the truck since that, so it's yeah, it is what it is. It's done now, so we need to try reset and focus again, you know. So yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we're looking at the track right now. It seems to be drying up a lot. People are putting some better scores on the board. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I know how changeable the weather conditions can be. It's just keeping your head in the right space to reset and try again.
Yeah, exactly. Like once the rain holds off, like I'm sure that an average run that I can put in will still out-qualify most of the guys. But, you know, I just need to remember that when I'm on the start line and not try mess it up, you know. So, yeah, we'll just have to, when the helmet goes on, see what happens, just send it and see how we go.
He's got an 86.5. He's in 9th position. He's probably safe enough. He's now in dry conditions. He's now feeling confident. He wants top spot. He needs those championship points badly, and that's why he's going to have to go big. And that's a huge entry from Conor Shannon.
Oh, and he gets it dialed, and he's into the wall. And he's better than Laxco because he's at the whole way round. This is unbelievable from Shanahan. He fires it across the circuit. Can he go deep on the wall? And he runs the wall. This is the one. He comes flying through the centre of the circuit. He's right to the edge. He's on the white line. As Shanahan transitions back, one last wall run left to go. He gets there and he's on the wall.
Oh, I don't know if there's much more out there. Yeah, I mean... Oh! It's a 97 from Conor Shannon. Now, will it be our next driver in an identical car to Conor Shannon, but he had a big problem on his first run, was Fionn Roach, got a 0. So anything's got to improve from there.
But he has to get the job done.
He has to get the job done. He's
now's the time.
Rookie driver from Ireland, first year in Driftmasters, has to swallow the pressure here and go for it.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's going for it. Oh, look at this. He's mirrored Shanahan's initiation. He's mirrored Shanahan's wall run. He's doing exactly what Shanahan's done. Can he replicate the whole run? Oh, he stalls up a little bit there, checks himself out on that inside zone, and it's upset his line to the wall run, and now he starts to bleed some points. He fires down the hill. Back on the throttle he goes as Fionn Roche, as he dials on the angle, looks for that final outside zone. Job done across the line.
78.5 puts him into 19th position, so not bad, mid-pack at the moment, but there is big scores coming in. This is a man very nervous, and you can see it right now, is Jack Shannon. 0, no run at all on the first run because his car put oil all over the ground.
But earlier on, the interview with Becky, he said an average run from me could beat most of these guys. Well, you need to be more than average right now, Jack Shanahan. You need to fire it in, you need to get it done. And look at this from Shanahan onto the wall. He's replicating his brother's run once again. Can he get himself up there into the 90s? Full throttle from Shanahan through that inner zone as he looks for the wall run. Can he get nice and deep? Of course he can. It's Jack Shanahan. He looks for the outside zone once again, right to the edge of the circuit, and he's nice and wide. Flicks that car through, second to last outside zone for Phil. Onto the wall, 90 degrees across the line.
That's a good run. That's a great run. And you can hear it from the car.
Go,
he knew it. And again, it drives with confidence and it works. He didn't miss any zones.
No.
Good speed. There you have it. 3rd position for Jack Shannon with a 95.
So we are currently waiting for qualifying to wrap it up. I'm currently sitting P1 right now with a 97. Jack is P3 with a 95. So quite good, to be honest. You know, I gave it a lot in that second run, took a big risk and it paid off. So could have been a little bit more cleaner. I was a little bit on the loose side, but I was quite happy, to be honest. Got the job done. I think we'll stay inside the top 4, which means we got to go to the Showdown. Having a small problem with the turbo leaking some oil, and we're getting a small fire after the run, so I hope it does 2 runs and not do it during the run. But yeah, overall, feeling is good. I'm excited and looking forward to just, you know, being back in a good place, to be honest. I've really kind of switched off this weekend, and I've kind of dealt with different things differently. You know, I'm just focusing on run by run and forgetting about the bigger picture for a while and enjoying it. So I enjoyed that second run. I felt like it was the first time this year where I really felt back in my happy place in that car. So it's a good start. I just hope that everything stays going the way it is, and I'm ready to go all the way tomorrow, that's for sure.
Well, Warming tyres right now, we have 2023 champion Conor Shannon. He had a mechanical failure, knocked him out of qualifying in Spain. He crashed into the wall in Ireland, but here he is back to business in the top 4 in Finland, and he has to have a big result this weekend. There's no championship hopes alive if he doesn't get it done. And you've got to look across at Orrin Nielsen and say, Orrin Nielsen has never been this close to the top of the championship. Can he hold it? And if he was to beat the 2023 champion in this showdown, what a statement that would be for Orrin Nielsen.
I mean, not only a statement, Dave, but a confidence booster for a man that struggled for so many years in this championship against the best of the best in Europe. He tasted that champagne and he said to me more than one occasion, I want to taste it more. I now believe, being in that top 5, I can do it. I have the car, I have the team, I have the ability. It's now time to prove that I am the man.
And here's the thing, he's the higher qualifier, right? Sorry, he's the lower qualifier, which means he chases first, which means that he knows Shannon's going to put on a good run here. Conditions are pretty much spot on, which to me means that Orrin Nielsen can trust on that initiation to go as close as humanly possible to Conor Shannon's GT86, which means all we've got to do is sit back and enjoy.
I love doing that.
I like enjoying.
Yeah,
I like these guys when they're pretty close and ready to go. So here we are, doors closed. Cars in gear, first run of the showdown. Look at Nielsen jumping off the line here and making sure that he's in the mix, and he's going to go for this one. Early initiation from both drivers. Shannon early on it and out to the wall, puts on that left foot brake to get out there. Look at Nielsen right in the mix.
Yeah, look at Nielsen, he wants it, he's hungry. Shallows up the angle, he knows that car's way longer than that GT86 and he needs to keep himself out of danger. As they go for the wall, Nielsen keeps within touching distance and now goes for a big dive down to the fast part of the circuit. Nielsen goes for it once again, cool transition as he looks for the door at that GT86 and climbs up on it across the line.
Oh. Well, Conor Shannon, you can see a little shake of the head. He couldn't shake Orrin Nielsen, that's for sure. And here we go, look at that steam pouring from the GT86. Will it survive the run?
Oh, it needs to, Dave, it needs to keep that championship alive. Orrin Nielsen fires that car in, nice initiation, gets himself into the outside zone, he's opened the door, Shanahan spins! Shanahan puts it into a spin!
So we're going to get a decision from the judges, and it looks to me like Conor Shannon's given the signal that I spun it, so this could be an obvious one for the judges. And it is going to be Orrin Nielsen getting more championship points and going through.
So that is the first day of Driftmasters Finland done. Me and Conor both qualified. Conor actually topped qualifying and I was 5th. I was really looking forward to maybe staying within the top 4 and getting a battle in, but it's the way it goes. Unfortunately, Fionn didn't qualify. He ended up 34th after some really tricky conditions, and yeah, just didn't really gel with the track, but he'll come back stronger. Still very happy and proud of him to get this far. He's after qualifying at the first 2 events, so like it's his first year, so it's not the end of the world at all. But yeah, other than that, today was super tricky. Like the weather conditions were really bad. Conor's first run was pretty good. My first run, I didn't actually make it to the start line because we had an oil pipe fail on the way to the gridding area, and yeah, that was a bit of a downer in the mood, to be honest. I was not in the form to talk to anybody. I was just, yeah, I wanted to be by myself. But yeah, after a phone call to Corey, settled the nerves, got back into my zone. We went back out, got a 95, and yeah, got ourselves in the show. And that's kind of the main aim. But yeah, happy for Conor, qualified first. So yeah, tomorrow should be good. Hopefully the weather kind of starts acting as normal, because like this bullshit is just not good, like with the rain falling and then you do one run and it's completely wet, next run is completely dry. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow it just like sorts itself out and gets to like a happy medium of like just either being dry or being wet. At least then we can set the car up for how we want to be like on the track basically. What's up? So it's day 2. The sun is trying to stay out for us. We've just got practice done. It was a dry session, but in the very middle of the session there was like a weird downpour. So if that's going to be the case for the day, that battle that's going to have that downpour is going to be crucial. But yeah, I had a fairly solid practice. We had a boost pipe come off again. So I really hope that doesn't affect us in the battles, but excuse me, we're just putting doubling up on the Jubilee clips, and yeah, that's all we can do really. I don't really understand why it's popping off. It never was an issue before. Connor's car had like a battery isolator issue, so it shut all the power. But yeah, they're back going now again, so I don't think he's feeling the most confident. But also yesterday before qualifying, he told me that he was not going to qualify because he wasn't feeling confident and ended up topping qualifying. So I'm sure he'll be fine. But yeah, I'm not too sure why the boys are working outside the tins, but they are. So we're going to get everything tidied up in a minute, get back on track for top 32 and see how the day goes.
Well, we are ready to go. The fans are ready. The track is ready. We don't know what conditions we are going to have from the weather, but you know what? We're about to find out because we are heading to top 32. And we kick off this top 32, a very special top 32, with a man under an immense amount of pressure this year to defend the title, which is Conor Shannon. He won in 2023 in the last moments of the biggest drift event of all time in the PGA Narodowie in Poland. However, 24 hasn't gone to plan. First round doesn't qualify, but a mechanical failure. Second round has a crash into the wall. This time he qualifies first, and now he has to complete that first by getting it all the way to the top step on the podium. That's the only way Conor Shannon is going to get back into this title race. However, we have got Oliver Randall, who sat on the podium before, up against him in the top 32, and at the moment there's a little bit of chatter and a little bit of I would say discussion going on the grid right now. Yeah, so we're going to have a little look just to make sure it's not leaking any fluids.
You could see it from the passenger side of Oliver Randall's car. There was a fluid leaking on the rear wheel, and I wonder if our safety marshals are going to stop the vehicle, and they are going to stop him from competition. Now, this could be a little rub of the green, as we like to say, Dave, a little bit of Irish luck for Conor Shanahan.
Well, let's not count out Oliver Randall just yet. Our safety marshals will inspect what fluid. It looks to me like fuel, I would imagine, if they're looking at the rear of the car. Now, half of them will be thinking, hopefully he doesn't turn up here because this would be a nice entrance to the top 16. Another half of them says, I really want to have a battle because I want to, start proving myself here. And for Conor Shannon, it is a nervous weight, and this is where the mental game comes into drifting. A lot of people think it's about grip, power, and machinery. They all have the grip, the power, and the machinery. Where the difference is the squishy bit in the middle of the car, which is driving it, and that bit is the bit that has to keep in the zone, not get psyched out, not overthink it, and that can be one of the biggest things drivers manage their expectations versus panic versus driving too hard, or take how much aggression do you put into a run. A lot of those things are very psychological.
Looks like they got that car fixed, the radiator cap replaced from the faulty one, and he is going to make his way to the start line, so it does look like we will kick off our top 32 with a battle and not a buy run. And yeah, there we go, we make it official. Randall on the line, Dave.
I'll tell you what, we've got some tyres cooling down here on both cars, so I mean, again, the temperatures are high on the circuit. The temperature is good because the track looks to be dry from our standpoint right now. But Conor Shannon will have to lead out the first run. Okay, so we're just going to get... Okay, so we're getting some information from our marshals. I can tell you exactly what's happening here, Ian. That there was a 2-minute allotted time for Oliver Randall to make it to the start line, and he did not make it in that 2 minutes to the start line. And that is how harsh drifting can be at the top level, and it's not always just about how good a driver you are. Sometimes it's about a bit of luck too, and not looking in the hands of all the people there.
No, there we go. So Conor Shanahan will have to complete a buy run, and that's all he has to do is make it around that first initiation, and he did that. And you see a little bit of understeer there, so I wonder if the track... We did get a little brief moment of rain before we went on air, and I think that just slippened up the back end of the circuit. I see Conor Shanahan out there testing the grip, walking around the track.
Yeah, or it could be the fact that he warmed his tyres a very long time ago and he has very cold front tyres. It could be either, we don't know.
There we go, we make it official. Conor Shanahan gets the win, advances through to top 16. Oliver Randall, who unfortunately bows out competition, not in the way that any of us would like to have seen.
I have a feeling here that Jochen Madsen's going to go for it. Up onto the door of Jack Shanahan. As the dark clouds roll in, will the surface stay the same? Shanahan leading in Anderson into that first corner. And look at that, Jack Shanahan going right out to the wall, buried in the wall, tyre on the wall, as Anderson stays in the mix in the chase position. And Anderson's got to time it perfectly, and he does. Stays right in the mix as they go through here, not getting lost in Shanahan's smoke as they come down the hill. Excellent lead run from Jack Shanahan so far. And Jochen Anderson's just got to get some proximity here, especially through the last section, and just about gets there as they come across the line. Let's see what happens. Anderson to lead in Shanahan. Into that first corner they go. Anderson wide out to the wall. Nice lead run so far from Jochen Anderson. Look at that, in the wall from Anderson, and Jack Shanahan right there with him. Lots of proximity so far as they transition through. Shanahan now losing a bit of proximity, has to try and catch back up on it, and he does. This is where everybody's having some issues, and Shanahan has an issue as well on the inside of the track. Very tough part of the track. Oh, and a very close transition from Jack Shanahan to get back in the mix. And is that proximity enough to put the battle his way? Decisions are dropping in, and it looks like it's going to be Jack Shanahan getting the win. Jack Shanahan gets the win and goes through to the top 16. And I'll tell you what, smiles all around. A lot of frustration yesterday in qualifying, but it looks like it's all paid off. We see Conor Shannon chasing back towards trying to get back in the championship, but McKeever, he's already in the championship. He's in the top 3, and if McKeever wants to really take this seriously and get this championship this year, he's got to take down the 2023 champion. If Shanahan wants to get back in the championship, he's got to beat McKeever. That's what's on the line here.
That is what's on the line, and they're off the line, through the gears, down. Look at Shanahan, he's hungry for it. McKeever goes very wide and fires a car early on initiation. Looks for the rear wheel, and Shanahan shut the car down.
Shanahan's got a problem. Is Conor Shanahan. He cannot believe this. You know, it's a game at the end of the day, and you can see Shanahan saying something wrong with the car. Car is off. This could be Pontus Hartman's day. One of those days, you never know what's going to happen. Jack Shannon, of course, trying to climb back up the order here after a solid performance at round 2. But I'll tell you what, Pontus Hartman's going to be tough to beat. The Swede is looking strong, consistent. He's not making major errors, and that's what it seems to come down to. Also, car working perfectly, but I don't want to jinx anybody at this point, because who knows. But I'll tell you what, this is going to be a tough battle for both of these guys. You got Sweden going up against Ireland for a spot in the top 4. Pontus Hartman, he looks happy. He looks like he can take down Jack Shannon today. And let's see what happens as they come off the line.
Oh wow, and Jack Shanahan launches it off the start line. He knows Hartman's got over 1,000 horsepower underneath the bonnet of that BMW, and Shanahan knows he has to try and put some distance between himself and the Swede, but the Swede is there as Pontus Hartman looks for the side, and Shanahan spins. What is going on?
What happened? Jack Shanahan, did he hit a wet patch? Did something go in the car? He spun out. I told you. On a day like today, Pontus Hartman, you just never know. So reports back from the track, from the technical director here, who is in charge of the surface of the track, saying there was something on the track that they discovered when they put the granules down during the Shanahan and battle between Pontus Hartman. So the spin from Jack Shanahan deemed a fault of the surface. So, you know, we're just passing the information up here. But I will tell you right now, Jack Shannon is like, I don't know what's going on or how it's, I've never seen so much. I mean, the rule book, the pages must be creased at this point from how many times we've gone through it.
I think they've caught on fire where they're going back and forth so quick.
Jack Shannon and Pontus Hartman looking at James Dean leaving the track on a recovery truck in front of them. Now go back to the start, and Pontus Hartman not pleased with this decision I can imagine, because obviously now he's back in the fight. How does that mentally play for Pontus Hartmann here? Because he thought he had the job done, now he's got to go at it again. So it swings and roundabouts here today.
Well, he has to reset and go again, Dave, and that's the only way you can do it as a driver. Clear your mind, go back again. This is a clean, fresh battle. They're off the line. Shanahan fires in. Pontus Hartmann will be angry this time. Shanahan will want it. He'll be hungry for it. Pontus Hartmann gives him some room to manoeuvre. He doesn't want to get too close this time. Hartmann keeps it clean. Jack Shanahan makes it through that second outside zone. Now Hartmann wants to hunt down the side of Shanahan's 86 as they come firing down the hill. Hartmann puts it into a spin to avoid contact.
And it could go so easily from one way to the other here. Yeah, we've got a puncture on the front, a DB to the front tire off the car, meaning that if he's going to have to forfeit the second run because he cannot compete on a puncture. So making it official, going through to the final four is Jack Shanahan. Jack Shanahan goes through to the final four, and it looked like Jack Shanahan and Pontus Hartmann not happy with the decision. And he's got Laurie Heinen in his sights. He's got James Dean in his sights, Jack Shanahan, to get back up into the top 10. There's a lot riding on this one. They know each other's driving styles. They've traveled together. They're good friends behind the scenes.
Through the gears, McKeever goes for a big swing across the circuit. He's going to dive across into outside zone 2, and Shanahan's on that deep line. Wheel on the wall as he fires through, disposes of the tail light. McKeever now goes for a dive on the inside, hops over the curb and trusts Shanahan onto that wall run. They fire down with incredible pace into these outside zones, and McKeever goes for a brave one. He knows he needs to be on the door across the line.
Whoa! Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Shanahan down, looks for the back bumper, fires it in, but doesn't shortcut the circuit, keeps within that proximity. Dwayne McKeever on that wide line. Shanahan now starts to gain on him, starts to push as he transitions through. Shanahan onto the back bumper as McKeever fires down, goes super wide, just what the judges wanted to see, and Shanahan comes through the smoke. He needs to be on that front wheel, and he stalls up.
Oh.
Well done, boy.
It's Dwayne McKeever. Dwayne McKeever gets the win and goes to the final. And Dwayne McKeever, and I've just got to say it, back-to-back finals for Dwayne McKeever in Ireland and in Finland. This is the third and fourth playoff, right?
Yep.
Dean against Shannon. Apprentice versus master. Here we go, we're into the finals.
Yeah, here we go, through the gears they go. The third and fourth place plate up for grabs. Who's going to be third? Who's going to be fourth? Dean glued to the side of Shanahan's GT86, but it's a beautiful textbook lead line from Shanahan. Dean on the inside, but he makes it work. That transition almost makes no sense from James Dean. As Jack Shanahan fires down to outside zone, Dean's glued to him, but he almost makes the same mistake once again. Now Dean playing catch up. Oh, and pushes Shanahan across the line.
This incredible event, Dean in the lead, Shanahan in the chase.
Here we go through the gears. James Dean fires it across the track. James Dean looks for the outside zone 2. Jack Shanahan takes that shallow line, goes for the front wheel, almost overtakes James Dean, but now falls back a little bit, goes for the transition as Dean goes for the wall. Shanahan doesn't let him get away, comes through the smoke, and Dean goes over the bump, doesn't let the car go on too much angle this time, fires it up through the second to last outside zone and across the line.
Oh, who's going to take third step on the podium? Decision is in. James Dean gets it. James Dean gets third step on the podium. Oh, Jack Shannon will have to settle for fourth, but I'll tell you what, it looks like he's almost relieved. He said that was a day of absolute war.
So that's Driftmasters round 3 in Finland finished for us. Overall, it was a better weekend for Jack and Connor, I think. Not a good weekend for me. Didn't manage to qualify. Practice Friday morning, I had no confidence whatsoever. Going into qualifying, I still had zero confidence. The conditions were probably the sketchiest conditions I've ever drove in. A lot of the drivers agreed with so much rubber being laid down on the track, and then it was raining and then drying up, and it was patchy everywhere. So yeah, it wasn't an easy qualifying session for sure. But Jack and Connor got in, they got the job done, and for today I think Connor was knocked out in the top 8 due to car problems which were out of his control, which is obviously frustrating for him and frustrating for the whole team, as it's been all season, you know. He hasn't caught a break, so yeah, sickening for him. Jack got to the top 4, and unfortunately got knocked out, and I think finished 4th overall. So it's a good result, but I'm sure he would have liked to have been on that podium for sure. So yeah, I can't talk on their emotions, but I'm kind of disappointed with my driving for the weekend. But this place is pretty cool, so you know it's hard to stay upset for a while. So when you're here, you know. So yeah, that's it. So I'd say we'll see you all in Riga's next, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you all in Riga.